Good afternoon, I'm KHOU 11 Meteorologist Chris Ramirez. We are tracking the rain and the showers that are moving through southeast Texas, and for the most part, we're seeing those storms weakening just a little bit, but we're still also dealing with some moderate rain in some locations as the bulk of these storms are now to the east of the Houston area. Here's a live look right now looking over the Galleria closer towards downtown Houston. You're able to see the visibility has improved dramatically within the past 30 minutes to an hour, and so just keep in mind that we're also continuing to see some showers with it. So we are also under that weather impact alert, at least until between 5 p.m. It's more likely that we're going to have this end at around 3 p.m. But just keep in mind that we're going to continue to track these lingering showers as late as 5-6 o'clock, and then eventually things are going to diminish and become less widespread going into tonight. So as we look at our neighborhood weather network of all of the rain that we received here within the past 24 to 48 hours, we've seen up to about 1.5 inches of rain, especially just south of I-10. This is the I-10 area in the Energy Corridor. Oxborough Drive at 1 inch, 0.56, 0.1.27 at Katieland. Closer towards Fresco Rose Drive at 1.26. Usually when we get closer to the 2-inch rain accumulations, that's when we usually start seeing the ponding on roadways across the area. And we've seen that in some of the feeder roads and the frontage roads along the major highways, especially 45. But rain today exceeding 1 inch at Pinot Circle, just north of I-10. Excuse me. As we get closer towards looking at the 6-hour rain totals, these are radar indicated estimates. We are seeing close to 2 inches of rain in portions of northeast Houston, and that's when we're seeing some of that possible ponding on the roadways. So rain right now, this is what radar looks right now. It's looking more likely that we are seeing a batch of more heavy rain moving in from the south and moving south to Sam Houston Tollway. Most of the lightning has moved off towards the east. We're no longer dealing with the gusty winds and the dangerous lightning that was rumbling all across town this morning. For the most part, we're just going to continue to see those conditions we're just going to have these batches of just moderate to heavy rainfall moving through the city, at least for the next 2 to 3 hours. And that's when we could start seeing the ponding on the roadways become just a bit worse heading into early this afternoon. The National Weather Service is keeping a special weather statement in place for Baytown, Galveston, and Texas City, at least until 12:45. We are still seeing some 40-mile-an-hour winds with it, but these are moving closer out of the Houston area. So if you're heading towards Beaumont, just be extra cautious out there, because that's where the strongest part of these storms are headed as we progress to the next 2 to 3 hours. So as we get a big picture, this is the part of this big storm complex that's stretching all the way north to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Lots of special weather statements. The good news about all of this is that we're not seeing severe storms. We're not seeing those winds exceed 60 miles an hour, but we are seeing the torrential rain that could possibly lead to a potential flooding threat for some locations as we head into the afternoon. So right now, heaviest rain occurring in South Houston, even portions of Cloverleaf, Humble, Bush Airport, still seeing some heavy rain. Where you see the red colors is where the heaviest rain is. North Sam Houston Parkway, another rounds of rain still continue to move into that area. But as we look at the winds have significantly decreased within the past hour or so, but we are still expecting this to continue at least closer towards 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, eventually coming to an end tonight in the overnight hours. That's the good news, is that we're going to see mostly quiet conditions. I know you see the storms coming in our future track, but we at least have a good window of opportunity for storms or water to drain off tonight. However, heading into the early hours of Thursday, round 2, another batch of storms that could be gusty winds, dangerous lightning with it as we head into the early hours of Thursday. So just keep in mind, you saw how it was like this morning, possibly hard to get to work on time. And just keep in mind that tomorrow is going to be another round of heavy storms, some dangerous lightning, gusty winds as they move through the Houston area. That could potentially last until the 12:30 p.m. hour to 1 o'clock, eventually coming to an end between 4 p.m. So we're also going to have to keep an eye on the possibility of flooding. So our grounds are becoming very saturated, so it's not going to take much for additional rain to to bring some more ponding on roadways or cause those local streams and bayous to become a little bit swollen within the next 48 hours. And so as we look at the expected rain totals, at least through Friday, we could see some areas, some isolated areas experience between 3 and 5 inches of rain. We just hope that we continue to get these windows of quietness that usually occurs in the overnight hours. Of course, when the sun goes down, we lose that storm energy and things start becoming quiet. It's the hottest parts of the day is when we usually see some of the more of the stronger storm activity, especially as the sun does rise in the morning hours. So the flood risk for today, it's looking more likely that the Storm Prediction Center is keeping areas from Conroe, Huntsville, Brenham under a moderate risk for flooding. That's pretty high. That's a 3 out of 4. But don't take this as a grain of salt. We could still see, just keep in mind, we have a lot of concrete in the Houston area, so we could see it become easier to flood for the Houston area later on this afternoon as we get these additional rounds of rain like we're currently seeing now. So we're under a slight, that's a 2 out of 4, but we could still see tomorrow become a little bit dicey in terms of ponding on roadways heading into Thursday afternoon. This is all a part of a large low pressure system that's currently moving through portions of North Texas. It's centered over Dallas-Fort Worth, but we're getting the back end of these disturbances that are continuing to swing on through, and we're going to keep that widespread rain and storm chance through at least Friday. That low pressure system not really moving all that fast. That's going to continue through Friday. We still have these rounds of rain and storms to last through the Friday, through the end of the work week. So just this unsettled weather pattern, this is what that's showing you, is that the unsettled weather pattern not really going away anytime soon, as we're also expecting rainy conditions for this weekend. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We're highlighting all 3 days in red, but tomorrow another weather impact alert day through Thursday, as we could see another messy morning on your way to work or school, because we are expecting those conditions to be stormy, gusty winds, dangerous lightning, as well as some possible ponding on roadways. Another round of storms for Friday. This weekend, unfortunately for Father's Day, we could see a few of those scattered storms for the weekend for Sunday and into Monday, but just keep in mind that rain chances each and every day, at least for the next 7 days as we progress through the rest of this week and into the weekend. So right now, rain chances are the storms are weakening across the Houston area. This was a live look from the Galleria area looking over downtown. The good news is that you're able to see downtown on our live cam. Currently, it's taking a while for the live. There it goes. You're able to see downtown. So that's just a good indication that the rain has become less heavy and a bit more just light in terms of as we progress through the afternoon hours. And so just keep that in mind, that even though storms have weakened, it's not going to take much in terms of additional rainfall to cause more ponding on roadways. And that's why we're keeping that weather impact alert in place at least until 5 p.m. We could see this expire a little bit sooner, but it's looking more likely that we're also continuing to see some more rounds of rain approach the Houston area from the south of our area. So looking at radar right now, rain right now is not looking too bad in terms of downtown Houston. This is what's happening right now. You see that red to the south of town over Hobby Airport. This is actually moving northward. So that's where we're going to have to really keep an eye on that flooding threat going into the next few hours, as this round of rain, just another round of heavy rain moving closer towards the north. But the National Weather Service is continuing that special weather statement in place for eastern Harris County, as we are still seeing some possible 40-mile-an-hour gusts with the storms as they approach Winnie, closer towards Beaumont. But it's right now, I think our main threat that we're going to have to keep an eye on is the amount of rain that could fall in a little amount of time, especially as we head into the afternoon hours. So I'm going to go ahead and loop this through for the past 2 hours. We had these, the heaviest of the storms was moving through just around the 11 o'clock hour, but now as we look at radar, we're seeing more of these heavier showers move in from the south. So it's looking more likely that downtown Houston could get another dose of some moderate to heavy rainfall within the next hour or two as we progress through the afternoon. So that's only probably going to last maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes. But like I said, it's not going to take much to give us that flooding potential or that ponding on roadways. So be extra cautious out there. Don't be on the roadways if you don't have to, as well as give enough space between yourselves and the cars in front of you. Also, turn around, don't drown going into the afternoon hours. So right now, heavy rain now expected to move closer towards Brookside Village, the south side of town. Now seeing some heavier rain. Hobby Airport is right there. They're about to get another round of some moderate to heavy rainfall. But as the good news is that this is not severe. We're not looking at that damaging wind threat, nor are we looking at dangerous lightning. We just hope that we get these. You're seeing some clearing ongoing in and around the Alvin area and just south of Sugar Land. So hopefully this clearing is good news, because that could give things the opportunity to drain off as we progress through the next few hours for our rain potential and our unsettled weather pattern through this afternoon. So future track. Again, I'm showing you future track so we can see what we're expecting to see within the next 48 hours. A very messy start to our day, and it's looking more likely that we could see another round of heavy storms, gusty winds, dangerous lightning heading into Thursday morning, and that's what our model is showing. So quiet overnight. Have it in the back of your head as of now that Thursday could look like another messy morning with storms moving through and sweeping through southeast Texas, as well as bringing us some blinding rain in some locations. And so we could get some additional 3 to 5 inches of rainfall at least through Friday. The flooding risk is now going to be a concern as we head into the afternoon hours, but just keep that in mind that also tomorrow we could still see the additional rain provide some flooding concerns as this low pressure system, a very slow moving system that it tracks across the south central U.S. and we're going to continue to see these disturbances flare up and move through the Houston area at least through Friday, unfortunately through Father's Day weekend. As far as your 7-day forecast, we're highlighting all 3 days in red, but tomorrow another weather impact alert day as we could see more rounds of storms, highs in the 80s and 90s. Could see scattered storm activity for Father's Day weekend, unfortunately through Monday and Tuesday. So it's looking just like a very wet start to our month as we progress throughout the summer. The good news in all of this is that we're not looking at drought conditions. It's securing our place in the drought index. But unfortunately, when we get a lot of rain in a little amount of time, we do have to watch that flooding concern, especially for the Houston area as we go into the afternoon hours. So as always, you can find the latest weather updates on KHOU.com and on the KHOU 11 app. So make sure to download the app and you can get access to all of the extended weather coverage as well as the latest conditions across the Houston area. Again, I'm meteorologist Chris Ramirez with your extended forecast update. Have a great rest of your day.